Hi. Okay, I'm stepping out in faith. God gave me something. And um I know I need to share it and I'm nervous, but here I am using faith. Okay. In John chapter 1, okay, it's like right after Jesus was baptized by John the Baptist, and John the Baptist is like, "Okay, this is the Son of God," and he tells his two followers, "Stop following me, follow Jesus." And then as they're walking, or as Jesus is walking, um Philip recognizes the Holy Spirit on Jesus, and he starts following him. And then Philip has a friend, Nathaniel, and he goes to Nathaniel and he's like, "Hey, we found the Messiah." And so Nathaniel's like, "Jesus of Nazareth? Does anything good come out of Nazareth? Like anything?" And uh, Philip is like, "Okay, just come and see this Jesus, and you tell me." And so Nathaniel and Philip go to Jesus, and before they say anything, Jesus sees them, and he's like, "Behold, an Israelite indeed, in whom there is no guile." And Nathaniel says unto him, um, "How do you know me?" Like, this is kind of strange. And Jesus answers and says, "Before Philip called you, when you were under that fig tree, I saw you." And Nathaniel answered and says unto him, "Rabbi," which means teacher, so already he's super stoked. He says, "You are the Son of God, the King of Israel." And Jesus answered and saith unto him, "Because I said to you, I saw you under a fig tree, believest thou? Thou shalt see greater things than these." And he saith unto him, "Verily, verily, I say unto you, hereafter ye shall see heavens open, and the angels of God ascending and descending upon the Son of Man." And I used to think of that, and I'd be like, well, isn't that kind of strange? And I'm picturing, like maybe Jesus walking with a bunch of people, and they look over and he sees a tree and he sees Nathaniel there. And I'm like, but why would he be like, "Oh, Nathaniel, because I saw you under the fig tree." And I'd be like, well, what's the big deal? Why would that be so, like, Nathaniel immediately, like, is like, "Oh, you must be the Son of God." And then I started thinking, when I first, or not first, but as I got older and came to Jesus, let me tell you, it's a story. Um, I heard, I was like 15, 16, 14, 15, 16, 14 or 15. And I went back and forth from my parents a lot, and I was a bad kid. Um, Anyways, I was on this bus. I rode a bus for the first time in my life, and there was a girl that sat behind me. And this day, I was listening to her talk to some people that were asking about her name, because she had this really beautiful name, Nightingale. And she was like, "Yeah, I'm a love child." And I was like, "Oh, that's so sweet, a love child." And I was like, maybe I'm a love child. And I'm like thinking in my mind of my beginning, and oh no, I was not a love child. I was a whoops. And then she started talking about her name, how her parents had picked it out, and it was a very special name. So then I started thinking about my name. I'm like, Terry. Oh yeah. My name was supposed to be Jerry Lynn, and when my mother told the person who was filling out the paperwork, they wrote Terry Lynn, and she never fixed it. She just left it like that. And for a little while in my adulthood, finding out who I was, it used to bother me, but it doesn't bother me no more. But anyways, my name was definitely not something anybody put together. It's not special. It was a oops. And so anyways, this day on this bus, sitting there, I'm realizing, first of all, I'm not a love child. And second of all, my name isn't anything special. I'm just kind of a mistake, like, oh, okay. And about a year passed, and we were at a church, and I was a very rebellious teenager, and I'm sitting there like all grumpy, letting everybody see my grumpiness and know I don't hide it well when I'm not happy, or he didn't back then. And I'm sitting there all grumpy, like whatever, and ignoring them, sitting away from my mom, but on the same pew, but on the farthest side I could sit. And this other guy, not the preacher, another guy is standing up there giving the message, and I'm ignoring him and just, mad. And I'm sitting there with my arms crossed, like, eh. And all of a sudden, like maybe 10 minutes into his message, he goes, "You're not a mistake." And that hit me different. I was like, what did he say? And I looked up, and he was looking right at me. And immediately, it took me to that bus. And I started thinking when I was reading this the last time, that's what Nathaniel must have had. He must have had that moment where he was like questioning life or God or what was happening to him or who he was. And it was a fig tree moment. And mine wasn't a fig tree, it was a bus. But that was my moment. And God met me there. Even though it was a year later and in a totally different spot, that's where God met me. And that's where I went home that night, and I didn't have my Bible at the time, but my mom had a little book of John, and that's what I got. I got it out, and I just started, like, they say eat the word. I was like eating it. I was reading every word, like, who is this Jesus, and what is this? You know what I mean? Because I'm like, if he could do that, that was amazing to me. And of course, just a couple chapters in, when it talked about the Samaritan woman, that was it. But anyways, my point was the fig tree moment. Anyway, and that's it. It was, God told me to share it, so I'm sharing it. And there it is. God bless you. Have a good day. Bye.